This is the EVELO Aurora with upgraded New Vinci rear hub system instead of gears. It is a bike that I have come into contact with here and there. It's fairly unique. I really like the marketing that the company has done. I think they've got some awesome looking bikes, including the Aries. It's like a full suspension bike. But unfortunately, I've really struggled with some of the design features. So I'm going to jump right in and just give you the specs. Back here, we've got a 36 volt, 10 amp hour lithium battery, and that's cool. It's got Samsung cells. It's sort of standard for electric bikes. Downside is, it's in this plasticky box that, it can start to rattle. It just doesn't seem like it's secured that well, in my experience. Now, on the Aurora, that's not as big a deal, because you're probably not riding it off-road, although it does have a suspension on the front fork. On the Aries, I struggled with it because it was bouncing up and down the whole time. Down here we've got a mid-drive motor, which is very unique. Not a lot of electric bikes do this, and for good reason. I don't like this very much, in part because it puts a lot of tension on your chain. So essentially what happens here, you don't have to pedal if you don't want. This motor will turn, and it's kind of got like a double shaft in here, so it will still power the chain for you if you're using the electric throttle on the bike, right, to go. But in so doing, it's basically putting all that pressure on the chain, and that's one of the big benefits of the New Vinci hub back here, is that it's a continually variable transmission. You can change it when you're stopped. You don't have to be pedaling, and you're not going to grind gears like a normal bike. And so, because of the mid-drive system, it actually works very well with the New Vinci, but that's an expensive upgrade. And frankly, you still don't get that much power out of this bike. Like, in order to really get the proper output from the motor here, you have to turn it to the hardest gear, which means that as the rider, you're pedaling very slowly. But this motor kind of only has one speed, and it's a strong motor, it's not a fast motor. And so, again, it's not that pleasurable to ride, in my opinion. And I've ridden it quite a bit. I actually owned one of these bikes, and I just didn't enjoy the setup. It wasn't for me. That motor there is a 250 watt motor as well, so it's not as strong as a lot of electric bike motors. They're getting up there in the 350, 500, and even a 600 watt motor on one of the Pedigo bikes. So that just seems kind of weak. And again, why not have the geared hub motor like all the other bikes? Well, it's unique. It's something a little bit different, but it just doesn't work that well. Some of the other, cool features that this bike has, it's got that nice little fender. It's fairly cheap. It's going to bounce. You've got a light up here, but look at that thing. If you're going along the road at night, that thing is going to bounce all over the place, and it does. You've got Rock Shocks, which is a good company and stuff, but it's pretty standard. You got the lockout if you want, so if you're on roads and you don't want to lose energy to bobbing, you can lock it out. That's awesome. Handlebars, pretty standard. You've got that nice little neck adjustment, but be careful, because if you go off a lot of curbs or you pop up curbs, this thing starts to get loose, so just, maybe carry a wrench with you or whatever. And then again, this bike has the upgraded New Vinci system. So you just turn this, and you see the little guy on the bicycle there, and how you're making a hill. That means make it easy, I'm going up hills. And if you make it flat like this, that means make it hard, I'm going on flats. It's a cool feature, but I've heard from people that if you over twist it, you can actually kind of wreck the New Vinci system back there, and it's not real cheap to fix. So heads up. The bike does come with front and rear lights, which I like to see. That's great for safety. And it does offer pedal assist and twist throttle. So we've got the bike on right now. You just use the standard controller. It's like on off. And we're on medium pedal assist. So that means when I start pedaling, these little magnets here in the pedal sensor, they're going to go by this sensor, and they're going to send a signal back to the motor. Whoops. Up to the motor. I'm so used to it being in the back. And it's going to start going and assisting you. But, unfortunately, it's barely noticeable. It doesn't do that much. And I'm spoiled. I get to spend a lot of time with all of these electric bikes, and there are so many better options, in my opinion. And I'm sorry to say that, EVELO, because you guys are good guys and stuff, but this bike just doesn't work that well. Okay, I'm going to hop on and do a little ride test. There we go. I'm pedaling. we go. There you go. So that's really it. In order to make this bike work, you know, you kind of have to pedal slowly to get the full power from the motor. And yeah, for the full written review on this bike and other electric bike reviews, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. There are pictures and comments. I'll see you there.